A lot of powerful people in the Oval Office today, but the most powerful person who wasn't there is Senator Joe Manchin, who has, in effect, a deciding vote here in order to get the Democrats to 50 votes in the Senate so that the vice president can break the tie. He seems to be saying that he said on Morning Joe this morning, if it's 1.9 trillion, so be it, which is the most positive thing I've heard him say about that total number that you're talking about. He does have some issues with raising the minimum wage the way you want to. But when he was asked about the bipartisan process, which he stresses that he wants to have, he seemed to be saying that the bipartisan process means Republicans will be allowed to offer amendments on the Senate floor. Is that what the bipartisan process means to you, and is that what it's going to be?
Certainly there may be that possibility. Tomorrow, as we deal with a budget resolution, people can put amendments forward. So we will be debating a number of amendments tomorrow. But I think it's important to step back. When folks talk about working together in a bipartisan way and bringing people together, let's not forget that this package is incredibly popular with the American people. People know that this relief is absolutely essential for their lives, for their future, for us to get through this pandemic. You know, it shows a vast majority of Democrats clearly support it, but even a majority of Republicans out across the country, everyday Republicans support it. We have mayors in my state in Michigan. I have Republican mayors that are saying, pass this relief. We need it. It's unfortunate that I've got colleagues in the Senate and folks in the House that are Republicans that don't support it. But if they talk to their constituents back in their states and in their local communities, they will find that people understand how important it is to get this passed, to get it passed quickly, and how we have to be bold if we're going to get through this pandemic the way we need to.
Reports indicate that President Biden's meeting, which was his first meeting with senators, those 10 Republican senators, ended with him saying to them, we're very far apart, and I didn't see anything here that's going to bring us together. Is that what the president told you about that meeting?
He didn't speak about that in those terms, but clearly there is a distance. If you look at the proposal that the Republicans put forward, substantially less. It isn't what is going to be necessary to help folks who are struggling now and to get the economy going. You know, we have over 120 economists from all sorts of persuasions that are saying it's time to be bold. We can't possibly get through this pandemic if we don't take significant action going forward. And that's what the president is behind. The president is saying we've got to get this done right. We've seen the mismanagement in the past months. We're paying a very dear price for the mismanagement from the Trump administration. It's time to get it right, and that means we have to take significant action. The president is certainly firm on that position, and we all agreed as we were in that meeting that now is clearly the time that we have to step up and get through this pandemic, and that requires being bold and decisive.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.